Welcome to another episode of Boom or Bust, the draft show. Max Chadwick alongside PJ Clark and Tate Sigworth. If you haven't seen it already, we broke down Trevor Lawrence in a preseason scouting video. Now we're breaking down Ohio State quarterback Justin Fields. The Ohio State, excuse me, Tate.
No,
6'3".
don't do that. Don't give him the satisfaction.
I hate doing
Too late.
6'3",
Too late.
228. He's from Kennesaw, Georgia. Speaking of Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields was the number 2 recruit in 2018, right behind Trevor Lawrence. He was originally committed to Penn State, and then he decommitted to go to Georgia.
Do you have any hard feelings about that? Is there something we need to unpack there?
I'm speaking to my therapist almost weekly about Justin Fields decommitting from Penn State. But listen, he sat behind Jake Fromm for a year. Kirby Smart, bad look. Bad luck and Kirby Smart sitting.
The worst look.
Worst look. What he did in his sophomore year, though, makes it look so much worse because he was a Heisman finalist, completed 67% of his passes for nearly 3,300 yards, 41 passing touchdowns, only 3 picks, also ran for 484 yards, had 10 touchdowns on the ground as well, led Ohio State to a Big Ten championship and a playoff berth where they lost to Trevor Lawrence and Clemson. So, Tate, I'm going to ask you, as a resident Ohio State fan, what do you like about Justin Fields as a prospect?
Well, Max, the list is pretty long of things I like about Justin Fields. I'm going to be honest. I told the boys here, but I'll share. I started to write a pro and con list, and I realized it's only pros, and I crossed out con. That's how good he is, folks.
He can't find a con in Ohio State, guys. Shocking.
I wish I had a college football team that I actually cared about to just be a blind homer with. I wish. This seems so cool. You two have it. I don't.
I'm nothing but a homer. Everybody knows. There's just the list goes on. I got 10 pros here. He only had 1 pick all year, as Max said. I'm not counting the Chris Olave bail in the championship game, and then Isaiah Simmons, who apparently is an undraftable prospect, according to PJ, making a miraculous catch in that same game. He's 6'3". I feel like people don't know that he's 6'3". I feel like people think he's 6 foot, maybe on the shorter side. No, he's 6'3". He's got this huge arm. Max shared this video that he can throw 75 yards his senior year of high school with a 5-yard, 10-yard crow hop, which is nuts. That Olave throw in the Michigan game last year is crazy. He's got very good accuracy. His decision-making is off the charts. Anticipation, composure, scrambling. He's got grit. Okay, we're going to talk about when he went out in Michigan, Ohio State. All of us are thinking our season's over. There goes Justin Fields. Here comes Chris Chugnov into the game. He's not taking us anywhere,
folks.
It's a
great name. It's a phenomenal name.
Chugnov, if you look at the play, he's in there for 1 play, and he had KJ Hill wide open for a touchdown. I'm not kidding. Go look at the replay. He's literally wide open. And Chugs misses him. He comes out the next play, and in comes Justin Fields, scrambles to his left. I'm like, oh, no, what are you doing? You just left with a knee injury, and now you're scrambling. And then what does he throw? Probably this best throw of his season to Garrett Wilson in the back of the end zone. I mean, Heisman moment. We want to talk about it. I don't know. There's nothing the kid can't do. There's just nothing the kid can't do. I'm fired up for another year of Justin Fields on my team, and we're going to do big things.
I mean, I would be fired up if I had Justin Fields too. And I'm going to be the low man. If you watched our 2021 full class breakdown that we did a couple weeks ago, I am the low man. But that doesn't mean I'm low. Max likes to greatly exaggerate my Justin Fields take. I think Justin Fields is very good. Justin Fields is going to be a top 10 pick. I'm going to be fine with it. The thing that I like the most, Tate, you kind of touched on a little bit. I love his arm strength. Guy's got an absolute rocket. And it's not like a rocket like Josh Allen, where he could throw it a country mile and you don't know where it's going to go. And he's smart with the ball, unlike a guy like Josh Allen, who is an idiot and throws a 40-yard bomb to a fullback in double coverage in a playoff game. That did happen, folks. But he's got a cannon, absolute rocket. I just want to see him be more accurate. He completed 67% of his passes last year, which is a high number. But to me, he misses guys high a lot on the outside. If he's throwing to the outside, he has a tendency to hit and miss guys high. He's missed a couple throws into the end zone in just tape that I've seen. If he gets a little bit more accurate, could lead to bigger plays, could lead to a higher completion percentage, obviously. but there's not a lot of negatives. And he's very athletic, but only 484 rushing yards last year. Lawrence almost doubled that. So I think that's something to keep in mind as well.
Ohio State didn't want to run him. We knew that we had no backup, so they literally never ran him basically until like the Michigan game, and then he got hurt, and we're like, look how that went.
Pro you forgot too. I just want to throw it out there. This guy sent Tate Martell into a tailspin, and while I do love Tate Martell, in terms of content, he did a lot. Justin Fields created a lot of content.
I remember Tate Martell was talking smack, and then right after Tate Martell transferred to Miami. If you guys remember, Tate Martell's sister, I believe, is like an Instagram model, and all of a sudden you just see Justin Fields is liking all of her photos, just kind of one last shot to Tate Martell.
He's a smart dude.
He's got moxie. He's got moxie. Look, I love Justin Fields. PJ, I actually kind of disagree with you. I think he's very accurate. I think he might be the most accurate quarterback in this draft. I think he's more accurate than Trevor Lawrence.
He is.
Again,
the stats prove it.
I think he's more accurate. And listen, I mean, he is big, he's elusive, and he allegedly ran a 4.42 laser. I don't believe that, but I think he's going to run sub 4.6 at the combine. As you guys mentioned, the cannon arm. That's one of the negatives, actually, people have having it with him. They're like, oh, he doesn't have great arm strength. I'm like, I don't know what you guys are watching, but he does have a cannon for an arm. He's also very efficient quarterback, and his average depth of target was 12.5 yards. So this guy's throwing it deep, and he's still putting it on the money. So that's very, really impressive. The guy is taking shots down the field and is still really efficient. So I like him a lot. PJ, I got to ask you, though, you're not as high on Justin Fields as Tate and I. You kind of mentioned a little bit before, but really, what are the negatives? Dive into them a little bit more.
I think he needs to be more consistent with ball placement. That's really what it is. It's not that he's inaccurate. It's that he misses high a lot, and he had he had KJ Hill and Chris Olave, who is still there, but he has the talent to kind of elevate and bail him out of situations where he does miss. But if you're gonna be a franchise quarterback in the NFL, you're most likely what is that face? What's the face, Tate?
He has the wide receiver. I'm sorry. Are we complimenting Benjamin Victor, Garrett Wilson?
Wilson.
He's playing at Ohio State, Tate. These guys can play football.
Wilson. They had a good receiving core. I liked all of them.
They're fine. They're undrafted wide receivers. Okay,
undrafted
wide receivers.
Chris Olave. I like Chris Olave.
Not Olave. Draft him first.
KJ Hill got drafted.
Garrett Wilson's.
That was a steal.
Garrett Wilson's gonna be a high pick too, I think.
Whatever. I think this is something that we have to. I said it in the Lawrence video too. It's that these guys have like good wide receiver talent and a good tight end in Jeremy Ruckert, the pride of Long Island, Unity, at Ohio State, that can bail these quarterbacks out when they're not exactly on point. And guys at lesser schools may not have that chance. So I think ball placement is my biggest thing. I would like to see him make a jump this year. Secondarily, he's not Trey Lance. He needs to be Trey Lance.
He
needs to be Trey Lance in order to be my QB2 or even my QB1. Who knows? But I just want to say for the record, one national championship for North Dakota State Bison and 0 for the Ohio State Buckeyes. That's all I'm saying. That's it.
Have them play Clemson.
Winning matters.
Oh, Tate, what are your negatives if you have any? I bet you probably can't find any as an Ohio State fan, though.
No, I have no cons, and I'm just going to continue on the wide receiver train here.
This is so lame. Why are you doing this?
The perfect quarterback prospect.
The wide receiver, he's perfect. He's beautiful. The wide receivers we had last year were fine. They're fine. They're not amazing, but I'm just going to say the Ohio State recruiting class, the wide receivers coming in this year are going to be terrifying. Put him with Justin Fields. We got
Fleming.
Trey Sermon.
Oh man.
This offense is going to be terrible.
Even if they're bad, they're better than anyone North Dakota State has.
Yeah, but they're playing nobody.
Look at the opponents, PJ.
All right. PJ. Here's the deal.
I don't want to hear it.
No, you know what? I'm saving it. I'm saving it for next week.
I don't want to hear it.
I'm saving it for the Trey Lance
also,
video.
Next question, too. We can dive into it. Yeah. Tate, is that it, though? Like, his receivers just aren't that great, so you have no actual cons for Justin Fields?
They're fine. Okay. They're getting better this
year.
It's a con
for Ohio State.
Bunch of 4 and 5 stars. They're fine. Tate Sigworth.
I'll never slander.
Continue. Great.
For Fields, for me, I think the only thing that I think is a huge gap between him and Lawrence is kind of pocket presence. I think Fields takes a lot of bad sacks. His blitz recognition is not great. There's a lot of times where he freezes in the pocket when there's blitzes, and he has wide open receivers, and he sometimes misses them because he's looking at the blitz. He looks down at the pass rush too much. So if he improves at that, I think Lawrence does the best job in the class at that. And Lawrence gets the ball out quick. If he sees a blitz is coming, he gets the ball out really quickly to the right guy. So I think that's the biggest con I have for Justin Fields is that he's got to, against the blitz, he's got to be a little bit better. PJ, I'm going to go back to you. Where do you think Fields ranks in this class? You kind of alluded to it already. Is he QB2? Is he QB3? Where is he ranked?
Yeah, no, he's third. He's
That's
a firm
hilarious.
3.
That's
a
hilarious.
Firm 3. A really firm 3. And I'm not coming off it. Trey Lance, what would Trey Lance have to do to move out of the 2 spot for me? Like, not play football this year? Until I see, based on last year, Trey Lance is better than Justin Fields. He's a firm 3. Max is going to throw out his absolutely asinine worst thing I've ever heard him say, that Fields is better than Tua thing. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. That's the laziest, dumbest thing you have.
He throws with the right hand.
Dumb things.
Justin knows what hand to throw with. That's just a fact.
He's QB3. He's worse than Tua. He's worse than Burrow. This isn't a conversation.
Where'd you take Fields in hypothetical 2021 draft right now? Like, where would you take him?
He apparently UDFAing him.
No, he'd go 4th behind
Overall.
the other 2 and the greatest left tackle of all time.
Tate, where do you have?
I just said this guy was going to go 4th overall in the draft, and Tate is disappointed in me.
UDFA. Mine as well. Okay, mine as well. Yeah, he's better than Trevor Lawrence. I'm just going to say it. I mean, this is just a fact of the matter. You're looking at QB1, Justin Fields. Okay, he's got more touchdowns than Trevor. He's got a better completion percentage than Trevor, who, by the way, PJ was dogging Justin Fields' completion percentage, but here we go. He has a better one than Trevor Lawrence. PJ's QB number 1. He got less picks than Trevor. Okay, might as well only had 1.
Said stop missing.
More rushing yards. Heisman finalist. Your boy Trevor Lawrence, was he a Heisman finalist? Who was in New York sitting next to Chase Young and Joe Burrow? That's right. It was a third.
How many turnovers did Trey Lance have? How many turnovers did Trey Lance have? How many turnovers did Trey Lance have?
D2? Dude, if Justin Fields was playing in D2, do you even think about the numbers he would put up?
It's not D2. It's 1 AA. That's all I'm saying.
I'm falling asleep on that.
My guy won a natty.
PFF, Max, this one's for you. PFF rated Justin Fields better in pro situations. I mean, he's QB1. Think about it, folks. Watch the tape, grind the tape.
I can't go that far. I mean, if you saw our last video, I called Trevor Lawrence, maybe the best quarterback prospect ever after the season's done. We'll see how he does. Justin Fields is really close to me. He's number 2 overall on my big board right now. That's taking positional value into account, too. That's why Penei Sewell's not number 1 overall. But I think he's a better Dak Prescott as a passer. I think Justin Fields is really good. PJ, he might be better than Tua. We'll see how this season goes. I think he's really good.
You're already wavering. Good. I've already beaten you down.
No, I'm not saying he's
you
already.
Said 2 weeks ago that he was better.
I think as a prospect right now, I'd take him over. If he stays the same, like obviously if he has a bad year, I'll say, okay, Tua's better. But if Justin Fields,
Justin Fields knows how to stay healthy. That's a fun fact. Justin Fields throws the correct hand.
41 touchdowns to 3 interceptions is better than 28-0 in my opinion. And that's even
10 on the ground.
Not even factoring in that is FCS versus Big Ten. Also, winning a Big Ten title is probably more impressive than winning an FCS national championship, too.
Also, Trey Lance throws the ball 10 times a game.
Yeah. Also that.
Justin Fields had 51 total touchdowns.
We're gonna dive. Listen, that'll probably be our next video. Trey Lance scouting report. That was Justin Fields, and that was Tate Sigworth, and that was PJ Clark, and I'm Max Chadwick. Make sure you guys follow our Twitter at Boom or Bust Draft for everything you need.
Do it.
Related.
There's more.
Like
there's
the video,
more stuff.
subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell for notifications. Also comment on which of us you think is the biggest idiot, because we all have wildly different takes about Justin Fields. PJ is very anti him, kind of QB3. I say no, he's QB2.
Oh my God!
UDFA. It's a UDFA form.
PJ's basically saying he's UDFA. I'm saying no, he's QB2, and Tate's just saying no, he's the best quarterback prospect of all time. So
yeah,
You got to think one of us is an idiot. So comment in the comment section. Put in the comments who you think out of us three is the biggest idiot. For PJ Clark, though, for Tate Sigworth, I'm Max Chadwick. Have a great night.